Welcome to Bitter or Better, real stories of divorce and resilience, the podcast that gets real about the messy middle of divorce and what it takes to come out stronger on the other side. I'm your host, Abby England, marketer, Nashville board-certified health and wellness coach, and author of the upcoming book, Bitter or Better, and I've personally earned my divorce Kevlar. This podcast isn't legal advice. It isn't tips and tricks and don't forgets and hacks and how-tos. There's plenty of other podcasts out there interviewing lawyers, therapists, accountants, all sorts of divorce scientists. This podcast is raw, real conversations with everyday people who have jobs, kids, responsibilities, commitments, and yet they've weathered the heartbreak, rebuilt their lives, and found unexpected strength along the way. Because while divorce can break you, it can also make you better. You are not alone. Let's hear someone else's story and see what resonates.
Can you introduce yourself, please, to the audience?
Yeah. My name is Abby England. I am a marketer, a Nashville board-certified health and wellness coach, podcast host and producer, and an aspiring author who's working on her lighthearted, feel-good divorce memoir. Just kidding. Nothing about the experience was lighthearted or feel good. When you're going through it. But now that some time has passed, there are some funny moments and things that happened, and I wouldn't really call it like ha-ha funny.
Right.
I'd call it more like WTF funny.
Yeah.
So, and I think humor just helps you get through times of tragedy. It can really kind of be a protective layer. So I think humor is important.
It's also who you are. I mean, you are one of the funniest ladies I've ever met.
One of the funniest. Oh, okay. One of the funniest.
You know, it's my other.
Who are these
friend.
other women that are also in your top 5?
My other best friend.
Okay. And you are?
Oh, my name is Megan Braza. I'm Abby's best friend. Going on 15 years now. Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
We've been through a lot together.
Yeah, we have.
Through a couple house moves,
2
marriages, 1 divorce, 2 kids, 3 dogs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of life.
Yeah.
Lots of life.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted you to interview me, is because, one, my therapist said he wouldn't do it. But then also, I called you like every day during the shitstorm of it. And you were just there like a lifeline. So
I remember every day.
yeah. So we're going to laugh. We're going to cry.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to cry.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. Let's fire away.
Your turn.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous to sit on the other side of the chair and answer the questions, which I've answered the questions in therapy, like probably hundreds of times. And I've told this story to people, but it's always been in like a 3-minute container.
Yeah.
And now it's, aside from my therapist, my lawyer, you, and probably my cousin, like, I don't know if a lot of people know the real story of everything that happened.
Details.
Yeah. So we're here. And that's what today is for.
And what made you want to share all those vulnerable, deep details?
This whole idea for a divorce podcast that allows everyday people, not therapists, lawyers, accountants, counselors, not divorce scientists. We're just everyday people who have our lives. Our jobs are not divorce. We've got other commitments and responsibilities. Some have kids, other things that we want to do, yet we still have to kind of get through life. A guest said that divorce is one of the most traumatic things that someone can go through. And for those of us who are part of Divorce Club, I think we'd all agree, yeah, it's traumatic. Sharing stories of the shit show that can be divorce and knowing that you are not the only one going through it. And it's going to do probably one of 2 things. You're going to either hear a story from someone else that resonates really deeply with you And you're like, yes, I feel that. Or you'll hear someone else's story and maybe they've got it a little worse than you do. And so you might feel a little grateful for the situation that you're in. So it started with my own story. I wouldn't ask someone to share their story if I wasn't willing to share my own. So I thought it important to set the stage and the context and kick off this podcast by sharing my own story of divorce and resilience and how I made a choice every day, bitter or better.
Set the groundwork and talk about context of where you guys met, what attracted you to each other. So let's start with where you guys met.
Yeah. After grad school, I got a job with Walmart in Bentonville, Arkansas. The last place a 23-year-old would want to go, as you know.
Yes. She was 23.
Yeah, it was a dry county at the time. You had to go to Fayetteville to go party. But yeah, there was kind of a rookie group of us that started in a specific department, kind of a new department in Walmart. And I got a really great job out of grad school. Like, I was really lucky to get that job. A coworker was like, hey, Abby, you want to go sit on this project with me? I was like, yeah, okay, sure thing. And so he took me over to the finance area, or finance.
Finance, yeah.
If you're in finance, you call it finance. It's finance.
But everyone else calls it finance.
It's finance. So anyway, and there was this senior manager of finance who was working on a big project for the company. And he walked us through his Excel sheet of pivot tables and VLOOKUPs and all these things.
The keys to your heart.
Yeah, right. And I just remember thinking, oh, he's kind of cute, kind of shy, reserved, not typically my type, but he's cute.
And damn good with an Excel spreadsheet.
And pretty good with a pivot table. I think it was then Halloween. So that would have been right when I started, around like summer or late summer of 2008. And then around like Halloween, I was out with a friend. I was dressed as a sexy Hulk Hogan, and she was dressed as a referee. And we were out on Dixon Street, and he happened to be like also out with his friends. And he was on the other side of the street, and he ran over to where we were, because we were like walking to another bar or something. And he ran over to where we were, and I was like, hi! And I gave him like a big tipsy hug. And that kind of broke the barrier between us. Yeah. And then I'm a pretty social person, and so I would organize a lot of social events for, the mid 20-year-olds in our area. And I would invite him to things. So it kind of started as like group hangs.
Okay. When did that change?
It changed at one of those group hangs. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings, like
sexy place.
One of like the 4 places that you could go in Bentonville at the time. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings watching college basketball.
Okay.
And like the group had dispersed, but he and I were left, and I didn't have cable in my apartment.
You were 23.
I know, exactly. And I think I had a futon. And he was like, do you want to finish watching the game at my apartment? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go. And so
that was bold. That was bold to get to the apartment.
Yeah. So he had to live like right down the street. So we went back to his apartment and finished watching the game. And he said something, and I just kind of like held the gaze for a second, and he kissed me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that would have been the breaking of the physical barrier.
Okay.
Not like that. I didn't do that that night.
We're not going that deep.
Not that night. But yeah, then that's the night we kissed, and that's when things kind of changed.
So you started dating that night.
We started like I wanted to keep things private because I was still the kind of the new girl
Yes.
at Walmart.
Get it?
And I didn't want to like get a reputation.
Correct.
And so I wanted to keep things private
Mhm.
because he and I actually were on like a project together as well.
So you're working together.
Yeah. And so I didn't want it to be like awkward in those meetings with everybody else because
Yeah.
everybody else would know, because Bentonville's a small town.
Very small. Yes.
Yeah.
And it was smaller
It-
17 years ago.
Yeah. I wanted to keep things private.
Mhm.
And so I would kind of like refer to him as my special friend.
I bet he loved that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great, but and that worked until it didn't.
Mhm.
And so we like came out and formally kind of announced. I think it was a Saturday morning meeting.
Oh,
No, I'm
of
just
course.
kidding. Of course. It's an inside joke for Wall Martians. No, but we just came out with things and said that we were dating. So,
Nice.
yeah. And then we dated, and that moved into, getting engaged.
Getting engaged and then getting married.
Yeah. Yeah.
So describe what your marriage was like in regards to like family dynamics.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know.
I'll say, I'll just kind of rewind and say that like the engagement
Mhm.
is a perfect story of like the way he thinks.
Okay.
And that, so we were in Hawaii and I had like won a trip or something to Hawaii. We were coming back from dinner, like walking along the beach,
Mhm.
and it was like dark out. And real kind of awkwardly, he was like, let's go sit over there on the sand. I'm like, okay.
Knowing him, I know this is so funny.
Yeah. Like, okay. So we go and sit on the sand and we're just kind of like nestled in. And I say this, I'm like, tell me a story. And so he goes into a story of how he, after his first divorce, he was married before, but after his first divorce, he found someone energetic and outgoing and extroverted. Found his. I'm like, what else? And found his best friend, and he asked me to marry him. He pulled out the box, and this is where he's like his personality.
Okay.
He knew it would be dark out, and so he had the jeweler install like a light in the box,
Thinking ahead.
thinking
Gotcha.
ahead.
Mhm.
And so, because he knew it would be dark, and he wanted the ring to
Yes.
sparkle.
Yep.
And so when he opened the box, the light turned on and that baby sparkled.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a big old ring and it sparkled. Yeah. But that's just him. He anticipates things. He
Mhm.
sees around corners. And that's one of the things that I loved about him and appreciated about him, was his ability to see what most people don't.
Mhm.
But then we got actually married in St. Louis. That was important to me. That's kind of where I'm from. I kind of wanted a bigger wedding with friends and family. I just wanted a party.
Yes.
And so
it was a great party.
Yes. And then the marriage. I would say so. He did have a daughter from
Mhm.
a previous relationship, a college relationship. They never married, but then he was married after that to someone else. He was divorced when I met him. And that almost gave me a sense of like a safety net.
Like he's
almost.
been divorced already.
Yeah, he's been divorced before. And it was actually, from what he shares,
Right.
an affair situation, infidelity. And so he knows what it feels like to be cheated on, to be left. So that was a bit of like a safety net for me. Yeah.
For sure.
And he was so loyal. He got mega points for his loyalty. He got mega points early on for loyalty.
Mhm.
And I compare that against kind of my college boyfriend. He and I went on a backpacking trip after grad school throughout Europe.
Yeah.
And it was our last night in Spain. And we had like met some people out that day. And so we were out at a bar with them. And we had to catch a train the next morning to France.
Mhm.
And I was tired and just like ready to go home, ready to be in bed. Tomorrow's going to be a long day, but he was life of the party guy. That's my typical guy
Yeah.
is life of the party. And that's who he was. And he wanted to stay out. And so we got into a tiff about it. And I walked home drunk, alone,
Yep.
at night in Barcelona, back to the hostel. I have no idea how I made it back to the hostel. So I'm back at the hostel, and it's like a giant room with just a bunch of bunk beds. And so I'm in the top bunk. And so I climb into bed, and I hear these 3 French guys walk in, and they kind of walk over to my bunk, and one of them starts climbing up the ladder.
Oh, wow.
And luckily I'd taken 4 years of French in high school. And so I was like, arrêtez, which means stop.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped. Somehow I fell asleep, or likely passed out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up, I had tang, like orange.
The powder?
Yeah.
Wow.
Orange tang powder, like all over me. My hair, my bed sheets, my clothes, like all over me. So they had tanged me that night. And I like lean over on the bottom bunk, and my boyfriend at the time was sleeping. No tang, nothing. I was livid.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I just knew that my ex-husband, he wouldn't, regardless of like how mad we were at each other, he would never let his girlfriend walk home alone at night in Barcelona. So he got mega points for loyalty.
Yeah.
So the marriage, I would say, was pretty easy, I guess. We didn't have kids of our own. I mean, he did have his daughter from that relationship. So I was a stepmom. She lived in out of state, though, with her mom kind of full time. And she would come. She played soccer pretty competitively. And so her schedule was a little tighter than most kids. But she would come up, or we would go down to soccer tournaments and things. But overall, I would say, like, our careers were really important to us.
Yeah.
He worked, I worked. Many, many, many nights were just us on the couch with our laptops open, both working. Like, we were really supportive of each other's careers because that was important.
Mm-hmm. Did that impact your intimacy at all? Just being on the computer next to each other all the time?
I think so, but we were still having sex like a couple times a week. So, yeah. So I would say it was pretty easy.
Okay.
There's obviously, I won't say obviously, I think hopefully not all marriages, but many marriages have kind of trap doors, so to speak.
Yep.
And so there were definitely times where there were fights.
Yeah, of course.
There were tempers.
Yep.
There was anger. I think every marriage has that. But, and, you know, there were moments where things got tough. Like his mom got really sick. She eventually passed, but she got really sick. And so that was a tough time. And I remember being in the house, and everyone had, like, being in his parents' house, and everyone had, like, gone into the kitchen for whatever reason. And she and I were still in the living room, and I was about to go into the kitchen with everybody else. And she was sitting in this, like, blue velvet recliner in their living room. And she was very sick at this point. We all know what's happening. And she's in this blue velvet recliner, and she grabbed my forearm kind of as I passed. And she said, "Abby, take care of him." I feel like I did that. I feel like
you did do that.
I feel like I was a good wife. So yeah, that's how I would describe the marriage. Overall, happy, supportive, you know, with some bumps along the way.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
So I know at Walmart you said you're happy, right? There were some different life changes that happened. Do you want to talk about those now, or you want to talk about those a little bit later?
So at Walmart, I also, I moved from Walmart to Sam's Club when I became a director at Sam's Club at age 27.
Yeah.
I had never managed a person in my life. And I go from managing 0 people to managing a team of 10, who's then responsible for managing 500 people. Never managed a budget before, and go to tens of $1 million worth of managing a budget. I didn't know how to lead at that. Typically in your career, you take it like a stair step approach or like ladders, one rung at a time. I feel like I skipped several stairs or several rungs of the ladder, and I didn't know how to lead at age 27 at that level. So I did what has kind of served me in the past, and I just worked harder and longer, and I didn't know how to delegate at the time. So I just did it all. And I was working myself sick. I didn't see kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. There was a huge project that like nearly killed me. And so after it was kind of like implemented and kind of on its course, I decided to leave. And not everyone has a parachute, but I had one, and that my family owned a manufacturing business. And so I had several conversations with my mom, and she had bought it. She's a real inspiration. Then she had said, "Why don't you come back and lead marketing for the company?" And so I was able to downshift, left Sam's Club, was able to downshift and lead marketing for my family's company, and which was based in Southern Illinois. And so I had to, those first couple years, I was traveling quite a little bit, about like 25% of the time. I typically leave on a Monday and come back on a Thursday, and I did that like twice a week. Yeah. Those are like the least sexy days of the week anyway.
Right. Nothing's happening. You're just working.
Yeah.
On the couch together.
Right. And so I did that. And then that ratcheted back after a few years. It was like once every 3 weeks, and then once a month. And then during COVID, it wasn't at all. So it really ratcheted back. But during that time, I got a lot of windshield time because there's not a lot of direct flights out of Bentonville, Arkansas. Right. So I was driving to Southern Illinois, and I got a lot of windshield time. And I just started listening to all these podcasts around health and wellness. And I became really interested. Isn't even like the right, it doesn't appropriately capture the level of interest that I had in health and wellness.
Oh, I remember your smoothies. And the PowerPoint you made and how to make the smoothies.
Which people ask me about.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, that was my first piece of content.
It was. It was great.
Yeah. It became a passion, like a burning passion, health and wellness. And I would share articles and videos and podcasts and all these things, whether you asked for it or not. Like, if you wanted to talk to me about health and wellness, it's like, all right, let's go. Yeah. So I didn't know what to do with this. And then I remember you tagged me on something on Facebook, because Facebook was it at the time. Yeah. That's right. You tagged me on something on Facebook, and it was about health and wellness coaching.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And up until then, I was considering like going back to school to become a functional medicine doctor or a registered dietitian. All those would have taken like 20 years. I'm like, I can't do that. But this health and wellness program, health and wellness coaching program, would allow me to stay working and kind of do this nights and weekends. And so I enrolled in that. It was a couple year program, 2.5 year program.
I remember that. You were very busy.
Yeah.
Full-time.
I was working full time.
Yes.
I was studying. I was coaching clients. Like it was a busy chapter.
How was the support from your spouse at that point?
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
totally supportive of it because it was expensive. It was like 10 grand
Yeah.
to enroll in this program. So I talked to him about it. You know, we talked about it and he was very supportive of it. He let me, but you know, he understood like I had to do a lot of coaching on Saturdays and Sundays, you know, just for like an hour or two. But still it impacts your schedule, and he was supportive of that. So I finally sat for the national board exam and became board certified, which was a huge
big win.
Yeah, it was a huge achievement for me. I don't know, it just had me kind of question one's career versus one's calling. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the marriage sounded like it was great. You guys didn't have any fights really here and there. Yes and no. Lots of support through different job changes. So let's get into like what happened.
Yeah. There's a saying like, how many happy marriages end in divorce? The answer's 0. Like, 0 happy marriages end in divorce. And even as I sit here today, I can't really articulate what shifted.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like any part of your story there was a major rub or blind spots that came about all of a sudden.
And people have asked me, what do you think it was? And at this point, I've stopped guessing. I've stopped spending time trying to figure it out. It kind of goes back to that New York Times article. I may never know.
Right.
And I have to accept that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's hard to talk about the what happened without rewinding the clock a little bit. During COVID, we stayed at my mom and former stepdad's house in Sarasota. Because like, wait a minute, everybody's working from home. Why are we in Bentonville, Arkansas? Let's go live in Florida. So we were in Florida. I remember one day I was in the kitchen making us lunch, and he comes in after like a Zoom call. He comes into the kitchen and he goes, I was just let go from Walmart. And like, I was shell shocked.
Yeah, because had anything been said up until
No, he always got like exceeds. He's very good at his job. Yeah, like very good at the corporate game, if you will. Now we kind of knew it might happen because his EVP left. And if you're in corporate America, you know that when a new EV comes in, typically they bring in their people. Yeah. So we thought like it might happen, but the timing blindsided us. And so he said he was let go. And the first thing out of my mouth was, what do you need from me?
Which was an amazing wife response, by the way.
Thank you.
Like, to be blindsided like that and then to have that response, that's very like emotionally mature of you.
Thank you. Yeah, he shared that with a mentor, and the mentor was like, that's a good woman right there.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that kicked off a job search process. And he was interviewing with a ton of different companies. He did have a Walmart non-compete, though. And so we had to, we couldn't just like go to Target or, we couldn't go to a competitor. And he made way more money than I did. He was an executive at Walmart.
Yeah.
Way more money. He was the breadwinner. So, I was working, but like we have to kind of wait to see where we land, because you're the breadwinner. But that led us to just a career leapfrog opportunity for him to be the chief supply chain officer of a Fortune 500 company headquartered in Atlanta. And I had never been to Atlanta. Aside from like getting to Atlanta, like from Bentonville to Florida. Yeah. Like the airport's great. I think he had gone for like guys trips or something, but I'd never been to Atlanta. No friends, no family, no network there. But I was up for an adventure. It was such an amazing opportunity for him. And I was up for a new adventure. And so, We sold the home in Bentonville. We sold the lot in downtown Bentonville.
Yep.
And we picked up our stuff and we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And we lived in temporary housing at the time. So
what year was this?
So this would have been, so we moved there in February of 2022.
February 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we would have been in executive housing, which the couch wasn't ours, the bed wasn't ours, the dishware, the cups, the plates.
Like a hotel.
Yeah. But
Yes.
yeah, we had our clothes, our books, our dog, things like that. But everything else was in the executive housing.
Mm-hmm.
And we had bought a home kind of outside of Atlanta, in suburban Atlanta. But it was a new construction. So it wasn't going to be done until around December.
Okay.
So basically the whole year in executive housing. So I moved to Atlanta. He's, kind of going back into the office every day. I'm trying to pursue health coaching. And this move kicked off a plan that we had started to talk more seriously about. And that was for him to become a CEO somewhere.
Okay.
He was very, like I talked about, careers are important to us.
Yes.
Very driven.
Mm-hmm.
And I was totally supportive of his career. So much so that I knew how stressful it is to be an executive at Walmart, that I tried to make the home not very stressful. Because you don't need stressful work and stressful life. And I'm pretty easygoing anyway. But I was just cognizant of how much stress the job puts on you. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I was let go from my job because I couldn't work. They wanted me in the office more often, and I couldn't do that. My life was in Bentonville at the time, and then we moved to Atlanta, and remote option, the option to work remotely just wasn't available to me. So I was let go from my job, but I kind of saw it as a blessing in that I wanted to pursue health coaching full time. In a new city. I got clients all over the US now. We Zoom, it's all virtual. And so this plan that he and I had talked about him becoming a CEO, that requires moving every 3 to 5 years to the next best opportunity. Because he had seen enough Walmart leaders kind of do that rotation. Right. Come in, do a couple of years, and then you're off to the next thing. And at that next company, you're there 3 to 5 years, and then you go to the next opportunity. So that I was signing up for this hopping around in order for you to become CEO.
And health coaching gave you the perfect opportunity because you could just pick up and move whenever you wanted.
Exactly. It was extremely flexible to support his career pursuits. He was going into the office working, and I was at home trying to build this health coaching business in a city where I didn't have any family or friends. And so we would try to find things to do, fun things to do on the weekend in the city. Atlanta has a lot to do, which is awesome. It's a great city. And then I guess there was a hidden landmine in the marriage that I didn't have any idea was there. And I stepped on it Labor Day weekend, 2022, in Nashville when we were visiting his daughter. We met his daughter for dinner. And then we came back, just he and I, came back to the hotel. And I had a couple of martinis. So I was feeling good, And I changed and put on this coral lingerie.
You have the best lingerie.
The best. It's funny you know that. I put on this coral lingerie with an expectation of how the night would go. And so I walk out of the bathroom and he's on the bed on his phone. And I walk in front of him, and the hotel had a patio. So I walk in front of him, and I go out to the patio on the hotel, wanting him to come out there and follow me. And let's get things started on the patio. I don't know how long I was out there. 5 seconds, 5 minutes, I don't know. But long enough
So you're like, excuse me.
long enough. And he didn't come out there. And so I come back into the room and I'm like, what the hell? And the next thing I know, he throws his glass on his drinking glass on the patio ground. And he's yelling at me, I'm ungrateful. All I do is swipe the credit card, swipe, swipe, swipe. You left Sam's Club to go to Nevco and you left me. You're entitled. Like all these things. And I have no idea where this is coming from.
Right.
Like no idea where this anger, this like pent up anger is coming from. And so we talk, but to be honest, like I didn't recall the conversation that night.
You're probably in shock.
Yeah.
It's like, what is happening?
Yeah. Like I'm in coral lingerie here and you're yelling at me and you're throwing glasses and you're where is this
not what I was thinking was going to happen.
Yeah. So we go to sleep, wake up. I think we had sex that morning. But it's still like thick between us, drive home is silent. And then that Monday, so that would have been like Saturday, came home Sunday. And that Monday which would have been Labor Day, we had a calmer conversation about it. And I was like, it feels like we maybe need to consider therapy because we've got some knots to untangle. Yeah. And I don't know if we can untangle them ourselves. And he just said something like, I don't know what therapy is going to do. So, not interested in pursuing therapy, which was a little odd because we had done therapy before.
Right. So what is the switch now?
So he kind of went through his 6-point plan. The list of grievances against me.
Yeah. That made you feel really good.
Yeah. The first one, I left Sam's Club to go to Nevco. That was my parents' company. And I abandoned him for half the marriage.
Okay.
I was like, okay, half the marriage. We've been married for X number. I think we were married at like 7 years at that point. I haven't been gone 3.5 years. But, in his perception, half the marriage.
And he supported you the whole time. We just talked about that. There was support only. There's no grievances during.
Yeah. So that was like grievance number 1.
Okay.
2 was I was no longer bringing in the money that I did when I worked at Nevco. Because I got let go for your job so we could move to Atlanta. And, oh, by the way, I don't have a network here in Atlanta. I know 0 people. I'll go get a job, but I know 0 people. And we don't even know how long we're going to be here.
Right.
Your non-compete is up in 2 years. It just so happened that this particular company, its revenue fell like underneath Walmart's threshold. So it wasn't technically a competitor. Like that's how we got here. Your non-compete's going to be up in 2 years. And we've kind of talked about like, what then? Like, where are we going to go then? Because then the world's your oyster. Like, you can go anywhere. Yeah. So.
And don't forget that I've been working on my health coaching business, which you've been supportive of as well.
And there were other little comments that he had made when we were back in Florida. When he found out that he got the job, he made comments like, the increase in my salary covers your salary. And when we sold the lot in Bentonville, he said, the sale of that lot covers your salary. And then he made a jokey comment. And it was like, now I've got you. Meaning you're not working anymore. So now I've got you. Like in a jokey, playful context. So I took those comments as we're on the same page.
Right.
And then the third grievance, I'm not the person that I was when he met me 15 years ago. I lost my corporate ambition. And I say anybody who knows me knows that I'm like a type A achiever
100%.
Personality. Yes. And I said, I'm still ambitious. I'm just channeling it into something different, like a different career, not a corporate career. That didn't seem to resonate with him, though, and he just kind of clung to the words corporate, career driven. Yeah. So, like, a little bit aligned with that third point is, you know, me not being the person that he fell in love with 15 years ago. It just was like, you used to like to go out and party and drink. Yeah, I don't argue with that.
Right.
That was 27.
Right.
I'm 37.
My body
yeah.
now.
And I'm a health coach now.
Right.
Guess what?
Right.
Alcohol is terrible for you. I've just lost half my listeners.
Yeah, I know. Rewind.
Take that out. Who definitely use alcohol, like when you're going through a divorce.
Yeah.
I just lost half my listeners. But alcohol is terrible for you. I can't unknow that.
Yeah, it's hard to unknow it.
Yeah. And, you know, if I do some true self-reflection, I think I got a bit of an overindulgence problem with it as well. You know, it's hard for me to just have one.
Especially when you use it for stress. If you guys were stressed all the time with your work and you coped with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like those nights on the couch, there was always...
Each had a drink.
Oh, yeah. Definitely each had a drink. Absolutely. Every night.
Right.
And I'm experiencing health challenges. My sleep is impacted. Yeah, I don't have the energy that I used to. And I'm in Atlanta where I know nobody. I don't have any social outlet.
Right.
And so that's why he was like, that's why I stay late at the Braves game as long as I can, because that's fun. And I just know you're at home, kind of in bed. And then he said our intimacy is gone.
You just had pink or coral lingerie on. What are you talking about?
It's like, given the 3 points above, he's like, maybe that's why I get so angry so fast, is because the intimacy is gone. I'm like, okay, well, when you get home, you still work. You still have your laptop on your lap.
Right.
And yeah, we're watching a show or something, but you're working. And I am supportive, again, of your career, that I'm not going to nag you and be like, hey, let's spend an hour of time together watching this show or talking and connecting. Yeah, I'm going to let you work because you just started a new job at a new company. I get it. I get the hours that you have to put in.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the faith God thing. I, in the last few years, have grown in my faith, you know, through the health coaching, really feeling that was like a deeper calling. I remember even having lunch with a friend, Jody, you know, our mutual friend. And at that point, it had been like 3 years. And I'm like bugging people with like health factoids, dropping health facts all the time. And she's like, maybe it's a God thing. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it hadn't registered as that's what it could be. And I was like, oh, maybe it is. And then I went to Zambia and like go to a third world country and don't come back a changed person, like in your faith. Oh my gosh. And we had started to go to church in Bentonville.
And he attended with you?
And he attended with me. Okay. Yeah. And then COVID hit, and then we got, you know, that kind of just the world was different after that, obviously. But when we got to Atlanta, after a few months, I said I wanted to find a church, and he didn't want to. So that's fine. You know, it's about each person's own relationship. I'm not going to push it on you. But again, a little odd because we were going to church back in Bentonville. So there was this like 6-point plan, this list of grievances that he had. And I was the common denominator on all of them.
And you've never heard any of these before?
No. I carried around that so much guilt that I caused the marriage to get to this point.
Everything is your fault.
Everything is my fault.
Everything he said is your fault.
Yeah.
There was no ounce of taking any of that responsibility on himself.
It's all my fault. So I carried all this guilt. And so I tried to do everything I could to save my marriage.
I remember this.
The only thing I had you, I had my cousin Meredith, I had, people in my life, of course my mom, my dad, like I had people in my life, but the outlet I had was a journal. So I started to keep a journal. After that Labor Day weekend, that Tuesday, the next Tuesday, I wrote in my journal for hours, and that became kind of like a daily practice. I documented everything. I've got a 300-page journal.
I was going to say, how many pages is it?
And it's typed out. It's not handwriting.
I know, I read
it's like typed out, single-spaced. So that journal, like, I kept that during this entire period. So, which served me going through the divorce process.
Yeah.
So, advice or tip, like, you need an outlet. I'm a big fan of journaling.
Yeah.
So I did everything I could think of. I bought books. I found a counselor for me because he said he didn't want to go. So I found one for me. I remember buying this video series of like Inside Your Man's Mind.
Oh.
So I watched that. Like I even had like a list on my phone of like, I would find all these articles of like how to improve intimacy in your marriage. And I would have like lists on my phone, and I would literally like check things off that I would do.
How exhausting.
It's to not only like carry the guilt, but then also like the responsibility of like trying to get us back.
Right. Yeah.
It was awful. So that was early September.
Okay.
I tried to make every weekend like fun and sexy.
Yeah. What are we doing this weekend?
Fun and sexy Abby is back. Okay. And I remember one weekend, Kevin Hart and Amy Schumer came into town. Kevin Hart was on Friday. Amy Schumer was on Sunday. And we went to dinner before Kevin Hart, and then went to Kevin Hart. I had drank, and we were, I would say, back to normal.
Was this like October?
No. This is still September.
September.
Still September.
Okay.
Like mid-September at this point.
Okay.
And we went to a place for dinner. And I remember we had a couple of drinks. I wore this like super sexy outfit. We were crossing the street to go to our car to head to the Kevin Hart show. And he kind of held out his hand, and he was like, "Hi, baby," really soft. And I was like, "Hi." And we like kissed on the corner of the street. And when we got to the Kevin Hart show, he like pulled up the armrest between us. And so I like snuggled in, and his hands were like all over me. Then when we got home, we had like really good sex. And then that next Saturday was just kind of like a loungy recover day. And it was still it was different between us. Like I was hoping like back to normal, considering the night that we just had. But it was still different between us. And then Amy Schumer was the next night, and I wanted to try and recreate Friday night so bad. So we went to dinner before the show, and then we went to the Amy Schumer show. And then we got out like fairly early at like 8:30. And so we went to get a burger someplace. And we were coming up from the burger place. It was a really good burger, by the way.
You do love your burger.
Yes. We were like coming up from the place. He touched like the small of my back. And he was like, "Did you not wear any underwear?" And I pinned it. I like turned around and I pinned him against the wall. And I was like, "Nope." And I kissed him hard. And then like one thing led to the other in the car. We had sex that night as well. We had so much sex. Like,
Fun Abby's back.
yeah. So like, I am eager to please, easy to please. Like, I am just trying to not rock the boat.
Yeah.
Keep my marriage together. Like, that is getting all my energy right now. And then a couple weeks passed. It's late September. And I had like just gotten this eye surgery in one of my eyes. So I like look like a pirate.
Come on over here, honey.
And I wake up and I see a letter on my laptop, and my heart and stomach like just drop out of your body.
Because you know what that means, or what?
Yeah. I mean, you see a typed letter with your name on it on your laptop, and you're like, oh shit, what is this?
Yeah.
And so I read it, and he kind of like reiterated the points from that Monday conversation. You know, he doesn't think we're compatible, you know, but just kind of reiterating those reasons. And I write a letter back. It takes me hours because I can see out of like one eye. So I'm trying to like read his letter and write a response and get my words right. You know, I love words. Like, why use 10 words when 100 words will do? I love words. So I spend like hours. I think I even sent it to my cousin Meredith to kind of like look at, proofread, and then I sent it back to him. I sent him a letter back. Basically countering all his points. Like I'm blindsided by this. This makes no sense. These don't strong enough to end a 10-year marriage, a 15-year relationship. Let me just like counter every one of your points.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, I love you. We took vows. So he comes home that night. He gives me a hug. We go to dinner, I think.
Had you already given him his letter?
Yeah.
Okay, so you sent his letter while he was at work.
Oh, yeah, he was at work. Yeah, so he read it like later in the day.
So he comes home and gives you a hug.
Yeah, after reading the letter, yeah. He comes home, gives me a hug. I think we have sex that night. I'd have to go back to my journal because I documented everything.
Age 22.
I call this period red light, green light. It is gear stripping to do this 180. I don't know what the day is going to bring. I don't know if today is going to be we're not compatible, or we're having sex, or I see us as friends, or we're having sex.
Yeah.
Like, it is red light, green light. So that, and then we like went to the Highlands in North Carolina. Like, we were taking trips also. So that took us to October.
Okay.
And I made it very clear during all of these conversations and letters that I do not want to get a divorce. I love you. I keep my promises. These are vows. And I try to explain, like, I think it's contextually around us, not us. Meaning we're in a whole new city where we don't know anybody. We don't have our groups of friends. Yeah. You don't have like the guys that you can go out with each Wednesday that you used to do. I don't have friends here. All of our stuff is in storage. Our bikes, our cooking equipment, like things that were just hobbies to us. We don't have any of that. Yeah. We're in executive housing, and you're starting a new job in a new company. I know you want to perform well. That's stressful. I was trying to make the case like, it's everything around us. Right. It's not us. It's just a difficult period. And so I made it clear that I do not want a divorce. And I remember we had a conversation out on the patio of the apartment, and he said something, and then he was like, who cares?
About vows?
Yeah. Who cares? And I was like, I fucking care. Hello.
Yeah.
Your wife. I fucking care. And so I said, you've got a decision to make. I don't want this. And so he said, all right, I'll let you know when I decide. And so, again, Laura, red light, green light.
We're still living together.
We're still living together.
Okay.
Yeah. And that takes us to late February, Halloween Eve, I think.
Late October.
Or I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Late October. Halloween Eve. Maybe not Halloween Eve yet, but somewhere in October. We're supposed to go to a gala one Saturday. And let me just tell you about this gala. Okay. Because I had the most amazing dress for this thing. This was the Natural History Museum gala.
Okay.
And a couple years prior, I found this amazing one shoulder strap leopard print dress at an upper consignment shop for like $120. I tried it on and I'm like, I have no idea where I can wear this. It's got like tulle. It's
I remember black tulle.
It's amazing.
Yes, it's beautiful.
And it's leopard print.
And it looked great on you. Like you didn't. That's wonderful.
And I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to wear this. I'm going to buy it for $120.
Yes.
Get it. Fast forward to like the summer before Labor Day weekend, before all that, summer in Atlanta. We're at the Braves game. His company has a suite. So we're there. And I started talking to, I think she was like the VP of investor relations or something like that. Anyway, I start talking to her and she says something about a gala and the Natural History Museum. And my ears perk up. I'm like, oh, a place to wear the dress. Yeah, okay. So I worked this girl all night and my flirting paid off. Eventually she was like, I don't know how it got to this, but I was talking like, and what are your philanthropic hobbies? Right. And she goes something like, do you like natural history? I'm like, I love natural history.
Who doesn't like natural
Of course.
history?
So she was like, you guys should come. Like, I got the invite. So we were supposed to go to this gala. And we're sitting side by side on the couch. I think I was doing some work. I thought he was doing some work. But then all of a sudden, I get this email that comes to me. And he wrote me he wrote me another letter and sent me an email.
Stan needs to learn to communicate in person.
Like, so I like see it. I read it.
I wish you would have been like, you need to read this to me.
Oh,
Read it to me right now.
Megan, I was trying to not rock the boat, though.
Oh, that
would have been conflict.
This is true. Super conflict. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I like that idea, though.
So you read it.
So I read it. And then he was like in the bathroom cleaning or something. And I'm like, I was literally about to go pick up my dress from the dry cleaner for tonight. And he was like, I get it. So I left. And then I called my cousin Meredith and like talked
Well, what did the
things.
letter say?
Oh, it was just the same. It was the same.
Okay.
It's all the same points,
Okay.
reiterated over and over. There's like some new points that he had like sprinkled in, whether through conversations or letters of like,
Right.
the way you travel, like nitpicky stuff, the way you travel with like all these bags and water bottles. I'm like, I usually have the dog, so maybe you could hold the dog and I could have one less bag.
Yeah.
and the fact that like I like to listen to podcasts in the car and he likes to listen to music. Okay.
He's reaching.
Like, yeah,
Reaching
these
so
just
far. Yeah.
don't seem like compelling enough reasons to throw away a marriage.
Right. And not work on it. Like,
yeah.
Not go talk about this in counseling.
Yeah. Right. You want me to, okay, fine. I'll change the way I travel. Right. Okay. We'll split the radio time. Like, okay. And then like the corporate career driven thing, actually, I said several times, I was like, okay, I'll just go find a job.
Right.
Like I was a VP at my last company. My resume's pretty good. I'll just find a job. But again, we don't know how long we're going to be in Atlanta.
Right.
So, okay. And I did that. I hired a resume writer. You know, we worked on my resume. I brushed up on some things. Like I took those steps. I was like, pursuing health coaching is not worth ruining my marriage over.
Right. Right.
And I took those steps. So they just, it was just like reiteration of the same points, which is why I kept bringing up therapy and counseling. It's like we are just saying our same talk tracks over and over. Like therapy is going to help us get deeper.
Uh-huh.
And every time he was not interested in doing counseling or therapy. So I left to go pick up my dress, get a black clutch. And while I was out, he texted me that he didn't want to, given the state of kind of where things were at with us, he didn't want to go to the gala and be around work people. And he didn't think it was going to be that much fun. I'm like, speak for yourself. I've never met a gala I didn't like. Okay.
Where's fun?
Yeah. Okay. But he was like, but let's go to dinner. I'm like, fine, let's go to dinner. Again, I'm not rocking the boat.
Right. True.
So we go to dinner or something. then Halloween Eve, kind of the morning of Halloween Eve, it was a weekend. Okay. And so I decided to go to a CrossFit class.
Oh,
never.
Wow.
I know. Never been to one in my life, but I had heard that CrossFit is a great way to just kind of meet people. You always hear about like the CrossFit community. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that could be like, and they're health conscious. Like that could be a way for me to meet people. Mm-hmm. And so, because my health is deteriorating at this point, mm-hmm. I'm not eating. Like really, I'm not eating. I was like, Abby, you're the worst health coach in the world because you're not doing these things. Mm. My sleep is crap. I'm still meditating. Like I still have a meditation practice. My stress levels are busting at the seams. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to keep it all together. I've lost probably 10, 15 pounds at this point. And I'm
skinny.
My sister, and people were like, you look really skinny, like concerningly skinny. And I was. Mm-hmm. But man, my abs were popping.
Abby.
Yeah, that's right. My abs had abs. Okay. But again, not in a good, anybody can get abs if you're not eating. Yeah. So, but I go to this CrossFit class. I come back and there's another letter on the kitchen island. And this one is, I've made my decision. Mm. I see us as friends. I want to move forward separately. No mention of divorce. He has yet to say the word divorce.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's always like synonyms. But I read the letter and I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah. The fact that he, again, wrote in a letter and wasn't a man and told you to your face.
Yeah. Another letter that he get like while I was out. So I came back and found it. Like, so I'm a hoarder. I keep cards. I just keep things. And so I went around the apartment and I picked up the birthday card and the anniversary card and the Valentine's Day card, like all these, and I like fucking threw them across the room or threw them in the trash. Poor London was so scared. And then I was going to throw them away. And then I was like, wait a minute, I might need these. Something was like, maybe hang on to these. And so I like fished them out of the trash and I got them. And I didn't text him back for hours and hours and hours. And then finally he texted me and he was like, I'm not sure what I should do. Should I, happy to talk about it. Right. Should I stay at Airbnb? And I was like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And like, yeah. So we decided to talk the next day, which had been Sunday. I'm pissed. I'm angry. I still have guilt. So much guilt. I'm anxious. But then I'm all those things. But then I'm also trying to be empathetic and understanding to whatever he's going through. Mm. And so I gave myself a pep talk, I remember, on the way to lunch with him, or brunch with him on that Sunday. It was like, Abby, you're a coach. This is a client. Just be curious. Let the client talk. Just probe deeper. Ask, curious questions. Just treat him like a client. Mm-hmm. And so I went into that conversation, like mentally preparing myself to kind of be a coach.
Right.
And just figure out like what's going on. And so again, same reasons. I held my composure throughout it pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we like got up to leave and he gave me a hug. Goodbye. He like gave me a hug. And I remember holding the hug and I just lost it. Mm. That's when I lost it. So I'm crying. And then I'm yelling at myself. Stop. Stop. Stop it. Like, stop crying. And like literally, not in my head. Like this is out loud. I'm like yelling at myself. And I'm like kind of walking away from him. And he's kind of like trying to walk towards me. I just walked away and got in my car, and he got in his car and went our separate ways. Then later that night, he called me and we talked, and he was like, I miss you.
What?
You're my best friend. This is the red light, green light.
Oh my goodness.
This is the
I cannot believe you lived in this state for so long.
this is the red light, green light of the push and the pull, and
Gosh.
the feeling of hope, and then grief. Hope and guilt. Like I'm a cocktail of emotions.
Wow.
And I remember I go to bed that night. I hear a knocking at the door at 1:45 in the morning, at our front door of the apartment.
Okay.
And I hear the knocking like through the bedroom door at 1:45 in the morning. And it's him. And he couldn't get in because it's like a double latch. So he had a key, but I latched the other one, and he couldn't get in. And he's at the door at 1:45 in the morning. And he's like, can I stay here tonight? And I say, yeah, of course. Like,
yeah.
sleep in the bed. And so we slept in the bed together. And
After your brunch. This was the night of your brunch.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess kind of like morning of.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And the next morning, he's getting ready for work, and I got up and was like giving him a hug and a kiss. Because I'm trying to be more intimate.
Right.
Like, so that means getting up early to say bye to him, to even just have a few minutes with him in the morning, give him a hug, give him a kiss.
Yeah.
And so I like give him a kiss, and he kind of like pulls away, and he goes, I don't want you to think anything has changed. What? What? Like, so this is...
We're getting whiplash right now
Yes.
from the back and forth.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. So
Okay.
that takes us to end of October. So then in November, I had kind of just committed to myself, like, you're just going to do things on your own.
Yeah.
So he was out at like some coworkers watching football or something.
Well, you were separated at this
No.
point. right? Oh, he was back living.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. No,
his-
yeah, Kissy came back.
That was just not come back for the night, but come back to live.
Come back. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He.
Okay. But he
Now
still
we're-
said, don't get any
Yeah.
ideas.
He was like, I still don't.
So you're
I don't want you to
roommates.
think anything has changed.
Okay.
So we're still.
Okay.
So he's back now. He
Okay.
came back. We're still going to bed together. We're still
Okay.
bed, sex. Like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Megan.
Wow.
So much sex. Yeah.
Even though he's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get any ideas.
Yeah.
I'll use you, Abby, for your body, but I don't want you to get any ideas. Wow. What a man. What a man.
Where I don't judge other people because it was my marriage.
Oh,
I'm just trying to keep it together.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so then we fast forward to early November. He's at coworkers for watching football or something. I had vowed to just kind of like do things by myself. Like, I'm not going to stay in the apartment with the thick air. And so Georgia and Tennessee were playing each other in Athens. And I was like, I've been to some Arkansas football games, but I've never really like been to like a big SEC game. And so I go to Athens. I just kind of like walk around the town, and it's insane. But just walked around the town and watched like half of the game at this like beer garden or something. Just kind of soaked up the tailgate experience, and then came back. He still wasn't home. He wasn't back from football yet.
Okay.
And so I looked up a comedy show, and there was like a late night comedy show. And so I went to that, and I get a text while I'm at the comedy show, and he asks, how late are you going to be out? When do you think you'll be back? I said, probably like 11 or so. And so I come back around that time, and he's still up. He's like on the couch, which is a little odd versus being in bed. Like,
yeah. At 11.
yeah. Don't you want to like avoid your, because we weren't like texting throughout the, hey, how's your day? Like, it wasn't like that. Like, don't you want to avoid your wife, go to bed early. But he's up, almost like waiting for me, watching TV on the couch. And so he asked me about Athens and the comedy show. And then there's not a great way to segue into this. And he asks me, I've got a materialistic question for you. Are you going to go after half? And I'm like, well, at that point, I hadn't talked to a lawyer.
Yeah.
I had talked to a few friends who have been through it, and they all said the same thing. They were all like, they pretty much just split it 50-50.
Yeah.
I mean, that's typically what they do.
Yep.
But I hadn't talked to a lawyer. And so I responded almost like in a question tone. I was like, well, don't they just split everything 50-50? And this set him off. He yelled things like, you fucking cunt. You're going to take half my money that I earned. I will piss on your grave. I can only hope somebody fucks you out of that money. You're just like every other bitch out there who thinks she's entitled to half when she didn't do anything. At that point, I froze.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned kind of the trapdoors earlier in the conversation. And he had some anger management outbursts. I've stayed at your house before.
Yeah.
Because of his actions.
Yes.
And so I'd kind of been conditioned to just freeze.
Yeah.
Because if I don't escalate with him, then we can't keep like clicking up the notches, if that makes sense. And he's already at like a 9. I don't know what happens after that.
Yeah.
He has smashed things before. He's lifted up end tables and smashed mirrored end tables on our living room floor. He has thrown his BlackBerry against my dad's brick fireplace. He has smashed our family iPad. He has smashed his sunglasses into the dashboard of the car with me in it. He has had those, like, outbursts before.
And now you're talking about his money.
And he called me a cunt. Like, that's a whole new level.
Yeah.
So I just froze. Or anybody, like, looking in at that moment, they would have been like, girl, grab your shit and leave.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree. But it was my marriage. And it kind of happened before. And things would, come down after that. So I do remember mentioning, like, I haven't talked to a lawyer. Like, don't they just, I think I used the word shared assets, which is not common vernacular.
Very lawyer-esque.
Yeah. And he was like, I know you've been talking to someone. And no, I haven't been talking to a lawyer. He's like, I know you have. Like, okay, how do you know that I have?
Right.
He said, because I looked in your computer and I read a document between you and a guy named Scott where he's talking about shared assets. Oh, okay. So you asked me how late I was going to be out
So that he could
so that you could have time to get into my password protected computer. That was not like the family computer.
Right.
Like, it was my Abbey England wellness computer.
Right.
That was password protected.
You're right.
And you rifled through several layers of folders or went to Word recent documents where I had taken some notes in a conversation with my friend Scott, who has been through a divorce and shared along with my friend, 2 other friends where I had taken some notes.
Right.
So, okay. Yeah, you hacked into my stuff and found my notes.
Yeah.
That's how you know. So somehow we went to bed that, I mean, this is like 1 and 2 in the morning. It's late.
Yeah.
We went to bed that night. The next morning, we like continued to talk. I think I go to church. Then I went to Whole Foods. I come back and he comes up behind me as I'm putting stuff away, putting groceries away. He comes up behind me and he gives me a hug and he says, I don't know how to love you anymore. And I turn around and I give him a hug back and I whisper in his ear, yes, you do. So then, like, you know, we're in the same bed. Yeah, and we're having sex.
Green light, red light, green light.
Red light, green light. And then it becomes mid-November. And he's in Arkansas visiting some friends. And I call him and I'm like, where's your head at?
Yeah.
And he said, I just don't see us being compatible long term. I said, okay. Yeah. So I knew I had about 24 hours before he got home. And at that point, I talked to my mom, my stepdad, my cousin, and they were all like, leave. Yeah. There was no way you can. Actually, I had left the cut part out of the conversation. And when I told them that, they were like, leave.
Yeah.
Get out of there. You cannot go through a divorce in the same apartment. Yeah. Get out.
Yeah.
And my cousin, who's like a spiritual mentor, was like, Abby, he's already abandoned the marriage. Like, biblically, you can leave.
Yeah.
He's abandoned you. Like, go. So I packed up my clothes, my dog, my books, my rollerblades, you know, just the things.
All the essentials.
Yeah, the essentials, yeah. Even like car paperwork. Like, I grabbed it all, and somehow, by the grace of God, it all fit in my car.
True.
Barely.
And then you drove.
And then I drove to Sarasota.
Yeah.
So that was mid-November. And you would think that the red light, green light ends there. But it doesn't. It doesn't.
Thanks for listening to Bitter or Better, where we turn heartbreak into healing and survival into strength. As Brené Brown says, vulnerability is the last thing we want to show, but the first thing we look for in others. That's what this is all about. Real people showing up, sharing their stories, and reminding the rest of us that we're not alone. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it too. And remember, you have a choice. Bitter or better. See you next time for more real stories, real people, and real resilience.